Hey guys, welcome back to some more AFK Arena. With this new event, we're on the test server at the moment. Daily Maze is just around the corner. It should be, by the time I upload, should be like the first day of it on the global server. If not, it'll be just around the corner. But we're going to have daily labyrinth resets. So I decided, a lot of people asked for like the relic tier list and all that stuff, and I've tried putting one together, but it's incredibly hard. Luckily, Whitesushii on Reddit has made one, so we're going to go through that and discuss that in this video to get you guys ready for daily labyrinths, which is going to be awesome. Okay, so here we are. Like I said, this is a guide by Whitesushii on Reddit. I take no credit for this. I just thought it was a really good post and worthwhile looking at. So I'll leave a link to it in the description. Give him some upvotes. Like, just it's a lot of effort goes into this type of thing. So really appreciate this type of thing getting out there. As you can see, it's got your full tier list of the relics. Even goes in. He's actually posted this twice now. He made some changes from feedback that people left in the comments. And I know, like, making a tier list or a list of any sort and putting it out there, you're gonna cop a heap. But when you get some good constructive feedback and you can modify it to that feedback, it's really good. So on the Reddit post, he's still got a link to the old post, look at comments and all that stuff. Also has a bit of a guide down here talking about when you unlock hard mode, the rewards you get, all these different types of things. About I really like the math he goes into about how many tokens you should average get per month, and then how long it takes you to get an elite hero, all that sort of stuff. Really nice. And then finally a few good tips at the end if you want to read that. But what we really want to look at is that tier list, which is it's a really nice one. And can I just say, like, as a disclaimer, this is like a general overview tier list. People are going to struggle with different things in the labyrinth. So he goes down here, he talks about it, talks a bit about, like, there's two main areas that you struggle. Is it down there or is it in the actual post? I can't remember. It might be in the actual post, but talks about, you know, you can either struggle with the Riz battle, or you can struggle with, like, Celestial Hypergean teams complete endgame. I know on some of my accounts you can also struggle with just general hard mode battles. I can't remember which account. I think it's my main account at the moment is really struggling to get to Riz in hard mode, but once I get to Riz, it's not too bad. Because for Riz, you know, if you've got some things like Odin, for instance, which stops the ult, and you've got something that can, and you can basically negate the burn, because the burn effect from Riz is really huge. Basically what I'm saying is, if you don't have too much trouble with Riz, but you have a lot of trouble with just general hard mode fights, it's going to change up what you want to prioritize. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Up the top, when we look at S tier, you got Firebringer, Icebringer, Sunstone, Moonstone. Obviously these, I think when you put them in S tier, that's when you have the two of them and you're getting the combined bonus. Obviously Firebringer, Icebringer, you're going to be reducing, all your attacks are going to be reducing enemies' defense and attack, and increasing your defense and attack when you have both of them combined. It's just absolutely huge. These things really came into, like, people's mindset when we first got the first Voyage of Wonders, and it was really hard, and you actually had to try and reroll for these things. So yeah, those two are fantastic. Sunstone, Moonstone, when you have both of them, you just get massive energy recovery and health recovery. So you recover more energy when you're above 50% health, you recover more health when you're above 50% energy, and they just stack and go really well. And then you have Voodoo Doll, which at the start of the battle, one random enemy is going to take more damage. This is here, I think this is more here because of Riz. He's the only one in the battle, so he's going to take more damage, which is absolutely fantastic, but can also work in random, in just normal fights, because if you've got a real threat in the enemy team, you can just reroll fights. That's something you got to remember in this, and he goes through it when he talks about the Shadow Fall, which is the one that gives 25% crit rate, which, you know, it is a really nice thing to get 25% crit rate, but because you can re-roll, you don't really need it, because you can re-roll for the crit RNG if you have to. You can just reset the runs. Then down here we have the Blessed Hammer, which gives the chance to give additional damage. Deathly, I think it's Deathly Embrace is what I think it's called. I could be wrong, but it could be Van Braces. Is that a translation thing? I don't know. But that's that execute one. Hero's Hope, that's giving you extra stats in hard mode, which is really nice. The pendant, which is going, and if one enemy takes damage, the rest of the enemies take that same damage in the early parts of the fight. You've got the gloves, which puts everyone in Spider Silk, and then Thunderburst, which I really like the Thunderburst. I really do like this one, which is the one where it's like lightning just keeps coming down, dealing damage and stunning enemies. So that I agree with. I think the Blessed Hammer is actually quite nice, especially for it's a good one in general for both, because you're getting that extra damage against normal enemies, you're getting extra damage against Riz. Hero's Hope, pretty standard, just because you're going to be going ahead and getting extra attack and defense in hard mode, which is no dramas. And Deathly Embrace, like, I feel like if you really struggle against like Brutus in the normal runs, this could pop up to an S tier for you. Like, there's also the other one, which I can't find where it's actually been put on this list. Let's see if we can find it. There's the one where like back row allies remove buffs off the enemy. The Dispelling Arrow. Like that one, if you really struggle against like Brutus or something like that, and I know like sometimes early on, when you're really early in the game, like Brutus becomes a real pain, so you can actually just, those two can be really valuable. It just really does depend on your team comp and what you're struggling with, but yeah, that's pretty solid tier there. And then Sands of Time, it just gives you the haste buff. It's kind of like a mini Leica type thing that you throw onto your team. But I don't think we really have to go through all of these. Let's just see. I want to just take a look at some other ones that are notable. Idol of Hastening, that's the one where if there's no enemies on your side of the battlefield, you gain the haste. That's really nice for Riz as well, you know, you're getting that extra haste. Book of War is another notable one for me that I really do like, just because sometimes against Riz, if you don't have anything to stop his ultimate, but you've got two really thick tanks, it just reduces the damage your backline heroes take. So it can be nice, especially in the leveling side of playing through just normal battles. If you have, say, just using elite support heroes in your back row, and you've got your carry hero and a tank in the front row, obviously having those two front rows that are your main damage soaks, just having them alive is reducing the damage your back row takes, I think is really nice. The Call to Arms one, where you gain the extra energy at the start, it's not bad if you're really lazy and you put it on auto, but in general you just want to be using the ult of your main carry or however you want to do it, and then taking it off auto and letting stuff die. The helmet down here is nice, like can be nice to get damage reduction, but like he says in his text pit, damage is normally the king to try and push through it. This one as well, the Silent Hope, if you're one of those lazy people that puts it on full auto and then lets it go in your pocket, which I do for the first two levels for a lot of my accounts, and on my Graveborn account I can just put it on auto in my pocket for hard mode as well. This one really helps with that. The Silent Hope, just putting it in the pocket and letting it just go, because when they use their ultimate they gain so much more. Sometimes it backfires when they get two ultimates in, but you know, it is what it is. And then you got things like this. If you've got like the Beast Claws, or where's the Intellect one? There's the ones that increase, basically the ones that increase damage of a roll of, you've got the Intellect one and you got this one. There's the one for Plate Wearers, but I'm not a big fan of the Plate Wearer one. It is regeneration, but it doesn't add damage. But this one adds, pretty sure it's like crit damage and leech life for, I can't remember exactly what it is. Something crit, something. But yeah, if you have a lot of agility heroes or you have a lot of intellect heroes, those two become a bit better. Or if your main heroes, you know, that what do they call it? That role, then you can get more use out of them. And then same thing goes with the faction relics. For instance, if you're rolling a full Graveborn team or a full Mauler team, and you can get all that extra, like the leech life and attack for Maulers, or the cooldown reductions and stuff like that for Graveborn, then they become more relevant. But in general, they drop down because not many people are running full single faction teams as such. So that's why they're sitting down there. If you know you really struggle against bosses, like if you really struggle against Riz and you know like I'm gonna have to use tears at some stage, or if you struggle through hard mode and you just, for some reason, sometimes the scaling, like I go through waves on my accounts where the scaling just gets really hard and then it gets easy again and then it gets hard. If I'm in a hard scaling situation and I see this elegant focus, what I'll sometimes do is go it may sound weird, but I'll pick it up, then I'll do a battle with like a level 1 hero or something like that in it, let them die so that I have the option to use Jura's Tears if I get to Riz and I can't kill him. Then I'll just pop, because like on my accounts I've got like 50 or 60 Jura's Tears saved up, so it's not that important. So I'll pick that up, let a level 1 hero die, so that if no other heroes die for the rest of the time, I've still got someone that I can use the Jura's Tears on. I've never actually tested if you can use Jura's Tears without having a dead hero, but anyway. Then if I get to Riz and I'm like struggling to get enough damage out, I'll just drop a tier, get that extra attack increase, and then go for it. But obviously, I'm not going to pick that over a Fire and Icebringer, but just a notable one to talk about. And then the rest of them down here, the Pendant of Force, I don't like. That's the one where they start at low HP. Not a big fan of that. And they generate HP. It's like a real early game. It's not bad when you got a Shamira and you just cleave them, and then especially if you pair it up with Deathly Embrace, but yeah, not a massive fan on that one either. And those are all the big ones. We did mention that the Shadowfall, you know, it gives you crit, but you can re-roll for the crit RNG, so it's not the most important thing in the world. But definitely go check this out. That's my 2 cents on just some of the relics. I know I probably took a bit long going through that, but just wanted to give you guys some thoughts on this. Really good guide put together by Whitesushii. And like I said, don't take it as this is it. Like if that's, you know what I mean? If it is differing depending on what you have. Obviously, if you're not up to hard mode yet, you don't take Hero's Hope. I don't know if they've adjusted it yet to take those out, but sometimes they still give you the hard mode ones in those positions. And then obviously there's going to be this Hero's Hope. You've got different versions of it, like you've got the purple version and the blue version, all that stuff, which they drop down because it's stat differences. But in general, this is a really good guide by Whitesushii. So go check it out, give him some upvotes. I'm not really big into Reddit, so I don't know how it all works, but support him on Reddit, get around him. Because there's a lot of effort that goes into these things. So that is going to be it for this video, guys. The daily labyrinth should be on when you're watching this, if not just around the corner. So if you got 5 ults like me, there's a few counts you're not going to get around to it on. But make sure you pick your accounts and get those rewards, because down here, when we look at it, if you're doing hard mode and it takes you 19 days to get a hero, that drops. That drops to, what's that, 9.5 days to get a hero, which isn't too bad. So thanks for watching, guys. Hope you have an awesome day, and I'll look forward to seeing the next one. Cheers.